Your call is important to us. Please hold the line.
All operators are busy at the moment. We apologize for the wait and will answer you shortly. Our operators are busy at the moment. Your call is being transferred. Thank you for calling.
All right, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back to the Hauntline, everyone. I'm your host, Jonathan. Tonight, we've got another haunt update in store for you. We'll be talking about HHN. We'll be talking about Midsummer Scream. And we'll also be reviewing Chauncey's Imaginary Playhouse, pretty much the first official haunt of the season. We've got a lot to cover, but I can't do it alone. So please, everyone, welcome Mr. E of TLEV Media and John Murdy's favorite tweeter, Nico of the Entertainment Connection. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Good, man. Excited.
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be back. And Nico, what an honor to be around you right now. John Murdy's favorite tweeter right now. I love to see that.
Number one on John Murdy's list. He said it at Midsummer Scream last year. We were all there to hear it. It was incredible.
that was yeah. I think everybody, like majority of the people in that panel was like, Nico.
You guys are making my glasses fog up right now.
Shout out to everybody joining us live today. Thank you so much for joining us for another live stream. I see you guys in the comments. Ascend, Ronnie Rod, Aiden of sorts. Aiden, I hope I said that right. And then, of course, SC down there. So excited to have you guys here. And also, hello to you watching on the replay. This will also become part of an audio podcast that is coming back very soon here. So look out for that. We'll keep you guys posted. And also, thanks for all the love on the first live stream and the first video of 2024. I mean, that was a hell of a way to start off the season. But nonetheless, let's speculate, folks. Let's get down to it. So we've got a Terror Tram update of sorts. Now, I'm going to confess right off the bat. Don't come for me in the comments, but I know this is kind of a stretch, all right? Like everything that we're talking about today is kind of a stretch. Are we desperate? Yes. Do we love HHN? Yes. So we're gonna speculate, baby. So come along on this journey. First of all, there has been a ton of construction happening around the Bates Motel area and the World of Worlds sets. Could this mean that there are big changes happening to the Terror Tram this year? Now, Mr. E, you touched on this in one of your last videos on TLEV Media. The Bates Motel recently got refurbished as part of the 60th anniversary. And we also see signs of construction all over the place. So I'm going to bring up some slides here so y'all can check it out. This is thanks to Crystal and Chris, by the way. Shout out to them for keeping us all updated. This is by the recently refurbished Bates Motel. There is construction happening around the picture car area. The picture cars are gone. And it looks like they're cutting into the concrete there or something. Very, very strange for sure. There's also some construction happening on the hillside next to the Bates Motel. Now, this is in the past been used as part of the Terror Tram route. Now, it looks like they're doing some more work on it. This is, by the way, thanks to Five Fires Mondo posting it on Twitter, keeping us updated there. Here's another closer look at what's going on. Some sort of foundation for something. Could be a wall.
Yeah,
could
it looks
be
like a sound wall, right? Like I would assume it's that's what.
Yeah, like a sound barrier. Yeah. So very interesting though. We haven't really ever had a sound barrier there. Why they would
Right.
have it? That's a great question. Also, this is a look again, thanks to Five Fires, at the War of the Worlds crash site set. Now, if you notice on your left, the houses that used to be there as part of this crash site are now gone. There also seems to be some construction happening on the path that leads behind that set down there. Here's another closer look. It looks like they may be laying down some sort of permanent walkway, maybe laying down some concrete for a walkway. And overall, I mean, this area is very rarely used for production. And all the years that I've been going, and you guys can attest to this too, Mr. E and Nico, in all the years that I've been going, I have never really seen this area used for production. It's never been closed down. Oh, we're filming something here in this area. So could this be a new area that could be used for HHN 2024? What the hell is going on? Gentlemen, what are your thoughts?
I mean, so look, I'm gonna step in here and just we love to speculate, right? And I'm gonna throw it out there right now. This is a new location for houses, all right? I'm gonna put it out there. I would love to see a house be put over there. There is a lot of work happening, and I'm really hoping that is going to be. They're setting up like a sound like barrier.
Sure.
Because get louder things. We can get either maybe a maze put out there, or
Sure.
like a bigger Terror Tram. It's much needed improvement, I think, also for the studio tour. We've enjoyed the studio tour, but let's change it up a little bit. We know that they're getting ready for this big 60th celebration. They haven't talked about yet what they're going to be doing for the 60th. It seems like we're going to get this huge revamp as with those pictures. But the fact that they are making the ground, like they're putting concrete on the ground, flattening it around the 747. I'm hoping we're getting a new path, a longer path. We got kind of a glimpse of that back when they had The Walking Dead for the Terror Tram, where we go up that hill, and a lot of people enjoy that. But also there were some people, that it's uphill. Uphill's not fun.
Sure.
But I'm hoping that we're gonna get a new route, and I'm just gonna throw it out here, like we're saying, wild speculations. We're gonna get a house out there. I don't know how that would work, but maybe we take the tram out there, right? You're stuck out there to get through a house, and then you got to continue on through the Terror Tram. That would be incredible if that would end up happening. But
sure,
I'm excited. I'm excited for the 60th anniversary to see what they have to bring. The fact that they're working on Bates Motel, making that look awesome. Where did they put the cars? I want to know where those are stored right now. Those picture cars, where are they?
That's true.
But I'm excited. I love to see these little changes, and if this means a new route for the Terror Tram, you got me on board.
Absolutely. Nico, what are your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, so I haven't really seen the construction happening. The last time I went to Universal Studios, we were able to go through the Bates Motel, but everything was gated off. So yeah, that back path is completely new to me. Like the pictures you showed, I haven't seen before.
Very interesting.
So I know with the RIP tour in the past, they would take you to some of the houses. Like I remember, I think 2013, they had like a little Insidious section.
Right.
So I wonder if that could be a part of the RIP experience now, because also last year they built a little mini maze for the Terror Tram.
Yep.
So
was that a little hint of something to come, Nico?
I don't know. Yeah. That'd be exciting to see. I hope the picture car area, that's a pretty big space, and you could fit a maze or house in that location. So
but before the picture cars, it was Whoville, right? They had like the big Whoville in that location.
It's a
I
big
feel like
space.
I feel like they just put the cars there because they have nowhere else to put I don't know. It's
Totally.
such a weird, because we go through the tram, we see those picture cars, the ones that are next to the old Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift show that they used to have, like stunt show there. And then we see more picture cars. I don't know. It's such a weird spot, right? I don't know.
It is. And to me, it's always been underutilized for HHN because, again, that even just as an outdoor gauntlet, like kind of how we had All Hallows Eve or Holidays in Hell before it became a Full House, something like that would be perfect in that area. I mentioned it one time on Twitter. I should have brought that up before Nico became John Murdy's favorite, before he had the direct connect to John Murdy. I tweeted at him and I was like, hey, dude, the Whoville sets, that area, is that ever going to be used? And he was like, oh, we had plans for it and it didn't come through. Yeah. So
dang.
I don't know, man. Maybe it comes back. Maybe, I don't know if a tent will fit down there, but for sure,
we have mazes in Parisian Courtyard, and that's a very weird space to put a maze. So
sure.
Maybe
I don't know. If we can implement more with the Terror Tram, I feel like the route, we've gotten used to the route. It's kind of, I don't know, it's lackluster. I liked this year's Terror Tram Exterminators. I saw a lot of people were against it. The reason I liked it is because we got another icon, right? We got our own other icon, in Larry Larva. But to me, it was still a little lackluster. It was very quick. But what was cool is that they were bringing back, like you guys mentioned, that RIP tour had that little maze, and then we also had that part where we walked through. What was it? Gosh, it was kind of like they built that, like they built that building also for us to walk through, with where there was like, I forget what it was called, but there was
the
like towards
hatchery,
the end,
right? Yeah, the hatchery.
There we go.
Yeah.
So if they can implement more and more like buildings like that, make it seem a little longer, because to me the route's getting like, we're used to it. I want to change it up a little bit.
There's only so much you can do. So now, to your point earlier, Mystery, they drop you off in that area already. They already have a designated pickup zone. So why not like make that truly another maybe 1 or 2 tent location for the event? You can do, instead of having the outdoor gauntlet for the Terror Tram down there in front of the Bates Motel, it could just be like a photo op / food and drink area. They can kind of, the daytime tour doesn't have to pass by there. I know that they want to, but if they wanted to bypass that area during horror nights, they totally could. So I don't know. I see great potential there for maybe this becoming a new location, because Lord knows we need it, man. We need more spots for houses, because 8 is just not enough, man. It is absolutely not enough. But before we go on to our next topic, I just want to remind everyone, love chatting with you in the chat. Drop a comment. Let us know what y'all think. Could the Terror Tram become a new route for some houses? What are your guys' thoughts? Let us know. And yeah, Ariana, great point. If we can't have the backlot, it's a nice additional place to extend. I really don't think that the backlot, and Mystery, you kind of mentioned this in your video as well, I don't know if we're ever going to get that back anytime soon, because they're making some pretty big bucks using that for production.
And if I can add,
go for it, Nico.
Go ahead, Nico.
Sorry, really quick. Like years past, instead of walking to the backlot, they did have trams that we would hop onto.
Yes, sir.
To take back there. So I wouldn't really see that as an excuse to have a tram to go back to that area and have it be, quote unquote, our new backlot area.
Absolutely. Ronnie Rod, we need 10 houses max. It's very true. Very true. What were you going to say, Mystery?
The thing I got worried about and if I'm thinking about the future, because this event keeps getting bigger and bigger every year by just what they're bringing IP wise, and if we were to use the backlot, I yes, that would also disperse people more. Yeah. But I think if we had like a tram or a van that dropped off people, I don't know if that would slow it down. I miss the backlot, but I feel like H slot is just it's doing what they need it to do right now. And like we talked about before, they got to make a lot more. They're so far behind with movies and TV shows and all of that they got to make money. So I want the Backlot to come back, but yeah.
And if I could just add one more thing,
of course,
really quick, I would love for a new Terror Tram route. I would love it to go through Little Europe.
Oh yes,
or a Universal Monsters Terror Tram go through 6 Points, Texas. I think that'd be a sick Terror Tram. And
Nico, tweet at your boy, bro. Tweet at your boy and let him know.
John,
let him know directly.
I'm coming for you, John.
We'll all be thanking you when it happens, dude. Walker Chronicles, really good point here. They need to do something to get people more excited about the tram. Was not a fan of last year's. I will say pretty much every night that I went, the Terror Tram was the least in terms of wait times every single day. Other times it was like no wait at all when you had all the other houses at like 45 minutes, an hour and a half. The whole point of the Terror Tram is to divert the crowds to it, to kind of, ease the walkways a little bit, ease the lines a little bit. And if it's not doing that, instead of taking it away, which is, what they've done in the past, they've done away with it entirely. Yeah, instead of doing away with it, why not make it part of the event a little bit more?
And to add on to that, John, I think also we noticed that with the year previous too.
Sure.
What was it? It was it was Hollywood Harry and then like featuring Chucky, right? Or something like that.
No, it was us.
No.
It was
it was us. It was us. Yeah. It was us. That's right.
It was the Halloween theme.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. Is it now? This is something just to throw out there. Is it because we're not using IPs that people know for the Terror Tram?
Sure.
Yeah. I hope that's not the situation, but I think maybe way back when we would use The Walking Dead and we had The Purge back there once,
right?
I think those lines were longer for that.
Titans of Terror.
Hope,
the Titans of Terror.
Titans of Terror. Yeah. I really hope that's not the case because I want us to keep getting these like icons. Like maybe we implement them in a Terror Tram and then move them on into a house. That I always wanted that to happen. We haven't seen it happen yet, but there's still hope, right?
Sure,
but I'm wondering, is that part of it why people are not heading back there?
Could be. Nico, what are your thoughts, man?
No, I agree. I think IPs are what a lot of people go to the event for. The Weekend, one of the longest lines. Stranger Things, one of the longest lines. The Last of Us, one of the longest lines.
Right.
But then we have, unfortunately, Monstros. And that would have long lines at times. But most of the time, I wasn't waiting more than 15, 20 minutes for that house.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Love on the originals, people.
Yes, please do.
Honestly, yeah.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Mig Halt, my first year in 2012, the tram had Ghostface. Heck yeah, Scream for your life. That is actually going to be part of the next Terror Tram history video that I'm putting together. Finally writing it. The next 4 years are very interesting. And then it's The Walking Dead and The Walking Dead and The Walking Dead. Aiden, it was so overcrowded when I went. I love the Terror Tram, but last year's just wasn't it. If we keep shoving folks out so quickly to VH. Yes. Yeah, Aiden, you bring up such a great point, man. Dude. So here's a quick anecdote. All right. I was trying to get a picture in front of the Star Lasso experience because, the neon sign, it's all lit up and everything.
Yeah.
And, I get it. Listen, I'm a former Disney cast member. I worked at Universal. I worked at Knott's. I get it, right? They tell you got to do this and you got to do it, right? But I was just trying to get this picture real quick. Mind you, it was on a day when the Terror Tram had absolutely no wait for like 2 or 3 hours out of the day. I think, in fact, when we got on the tram, we literally walked right onto the tram. There was no wait at all. I was just trying to take a quick photo in front of the Star Lasso experience, and there was this young team member Oh man, he literally like was like, "You gotta go, you gotta keep walking," and I was like, "Yeah, bro, let me just take this pic real quick." And he's like, "No, you gotta go," and then he literally stood in front of the camera, and it got me so mad. I was like, "Bro, they're not paying you enough to care this
Not at
much.
all.
Just
Not
let
at
me take
all.
this fucking picture real quick, man."
No.
Sometimes you just gotta act your wage and not
Yeah.
care that much.
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, man, they were rushing people the entire time, and I think let's cool it. On a day where the Terror Tram wait
Yeah.
is an hour, sure.
Yeah.
But when there ain't nobody there,
Yeah.
give these performers something to to
Right?
laugh
That's what I
about,
was-
to
yeah.
Yeah,
interact
and
with the crowds.
The performers love looking back or
Right.
going through Instagram and seeing photos of themselves.
Yeah,
And, like,
that's something
it's a
that, like,
bummer.
Universal has kind of just started pushing, like, the pictures and photos, the photo opportunities now in
Right.
some of the areas, but there's still something about Universal. They don't, or Horror Nights, I shouldn't say Universal, but Horror Nights doesn't want you to, like, take pictures with the scare actors. Like,
Right.
you can get those better chances at Knott's, especially at Six Flags Fright Fest. They love that. And hey,
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it too. Great photo ops all the time.
Heck yeah.
But Universal, they're very much like, you can
Yeah.
only, there's specific areas, and maybe it's a crowd control thing, but like you said,
Sure.
look, there's nobody on the Terror Tram. It probably makes their day, like Nico, like you said, it makes their day, the scare actors, and they'll just keep going at you and scaring you. I mean,
Yeah.
especially over there at the Jupiter's Claim, where you can have the tethered keep chasing after you.
Come on.
How creepy
Right.
would that be?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
absolutely.
that's memories right there. Come on.
Yeah. For sure.
It's a
All right, one
bummer,
last
man.
comment before we move on to the next section, because we do have a lot to cover, and we're going to
Yes,
get
yes.
into a lot of John Murdy tweets here in a second. Ronnie Rod, great comment here. Can we just do something to compete with how Universal Orlando's event goes? The new original houses are amazing, and with Murdy's mind down a demonic triangle path, maybe a new theme to build off of. Yeah, dude, honestly, oftentimes I am more blown away by Orlando's originals than their IP houses, to be honest. And I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that Orlando has a giant creative team. Out here,
Yeah.
it seems to be just Murdy and Chris and, a few select others, at least that we hear of, right? It does seem to be a smaller team. But I agree with you, Ronnie. I would love to see Orlando-style originals. I mean,
Absolutely.
just houses in general. With that Orlando love, but they got to grow that team a little bit. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get that. All right, gentlemen, any last thoughts before we move on?
No, I think I'm
I'm excited. Let's see what happens with the tram.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for a new path or maybe some new house locations down there.
that'd be
We'll see.
awesome.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, folks, moving on. We're going to go over some clues that John Murdy is dropping for us over on the old Twitter. Now, again, I want to stress this. This is a stretch, folks. I can agree with that. I can fess up to that. However, there's a little trail that either John Murdy is leaving for us to like really get a hint, or he's fucking with us. We'll see which one it is right now. So let's go on this Twitter journey real quick. So first of all, on the 20th, he wrote, I fell down a rabbit hole researching the latest house, which, by the way, this is the 8th house. So if we have an 8-house year, this is the final house treatment that he is writing. He said, I fell down a rabbit hole researching the latest house, and I don't think I'm coming back. Someone please switch the plate on the back of my kids' heads to auto-parenting mode. If I finally land on something, I'll let you know. So this is the first time he mentions a rabbit hole, okay? Next tweet. Someone mentioned Beetlejuice. Somebody said, well, we didn't have a Beetlejuice house, but Orlando did. And he said, on second thought, maybe we did, and you just never saw it. Or me for that matter, or anyone. Curiouser and curiouser. That's the phrase right there. Rabbit hole, curiouser, and curiouser. Now we go to the 27th. He mentions update, still falling down the rabbit hole. But at least I've started writing the treatment while I continue to drift deeper and deeper into the abyss. He mentions that he never really dreams about the houses that he's working on, but this one has invaded his subconscious. If I don't make it out, speak well of me. That one's directly for you, Nico. He's talking to you right there, dude.
Yeah, right there. There it is.
So second mention of the rabbit hole there. And then somebody in that thread asks, give us a hint, please. John very cheekily responds, how do you know I didn't? Now,
Dang, man.
some of the more recent tweets here. On the 28th, Jen, shout out to Grinning Jen, amazing photographer. I say it every time. If you're not following her, do it now. Do it. If you could turn any non-horror movie into a house, what movie would you choose? Murdy responded, Alice in Wonderland, because I'm obsessed with Lewis Carroll. And finally, someone asks, how have you been? And Murdy mentions that he's a little stressed because this is the most difficult house he's written this year.
Dang.
So, 2 mentions of the rabbit hole.
Dang.
1 mention of Alice in Wonderland by name, and another mention of Curiouser and Curiouser. What the hell is going on? Gentlemen, what do you think? What does this mean?
It's so speculation season. I'm so excited now. Go for it, Nico.
So I hope, like, John Murdy's doesn't give us like those easy clues,
Right.
but hopefully, I'm just hoping to give some of us amateur detectives an easy clue, and we get some sort of Alice in Wonderland house or maze. I know John Murdy, we've had 2 Alice Cooper mazes in the past, and I think for the third one, he wanted to take more of an Alice in Wonderland route. Maybe Alice Cooper, but I would personally love to just see an original Alice in Wonderland house.
Yes.
We saw that a couple years ago in Orlando with Asylum in Wonderland.
Yes.
We had a maze many, many, many years ago at Not Scary Farm called Malice in Wonderland.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope this is just this is in your face clue that we're getting.
He's dangling that carrot,
Yeah,
man.
right?
He's
Yeah.
dangling
Like
it for all of
that
us.
insurance commercial. Oh,
Yeah.
almost got
Oh,
it. So I'm hoping. I think an Alice in Wonderland house designed by John Murdy would be spectacular.
And then not only that, but Orlando also had, and Mary, I see you in the chat. Mary, shout out all the way from Orlando. You can correct me on this. I think they had fairy tales. They had 2 houses out there that were like twisted fairy tales. They had it for the first time that I went in 2018. It was a sequel house. And my word, those were amazing. I would love to see something like that even, where it's a compilation of twisted fairy tales. Mr. E, what are you thinking, dude?
Look, I mean, the first thing went to mind. I was like, okay, it's sure Alice in Wonderland, but I thought Alice Cooper, he loves working with them, and it's like when he works with Slash, they're all buddies, they all love to work together.
Yeah.
But then putting them together, that idea of putting Alice Cooper and Alice in Wonderland together, come on now, that is creepy. We know that John loves to go back into history, loves to look back at some books. He loves to read books and put it all together. If this is an original, I'm all for it.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Going to the chat real quick. You got a shout out here, Larissa. Malice in Wonderland, shout out, one of my faves.
One of the best mazes.
Yeah, I'm bummed I never got to go through it, but the videos look pretty awesome, man. Would love to see something like that return, for sure. Yeah, Mary, I would love to see a twisted Alice in Wonderland myself, but not holding my breath. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, something based off of American McGee's Alice would be interesting. Yeah, okay.
That would be interesting, yeah.
Aiden, an Alice in Wonderland one. Or others have speculated that it could be a Silent Hill house. That would be kind of cool. Jess from HHN 365 also mentioned that the first Resident Evil movie had a lot of like through the looking glass Alice references. So Resident Evil, I mean, if they're already kind of opening up the game archive, maybe we go that route.
If I could add one more thing, Orlando also had that scare zone.
Yes,
where they had the smoking caterpillar mic'd up scare actor.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
The
right.
White Rabbit and everybody running around. So
Yeah, and then
No,
of course,
yeah.
Horror Nights is no stranger to Alice in Wonderland.
not at all. Or storybooks, right? Tooth
Or
Fairy in
storybooks, yeah.
2021. Yeah, 2021. That was very, very true. Alice in Chains. Heck yeah, let's do Alice in Chains. I like it. Yeah, HHN 365 in the house. What's up, guys? Yeah, triangles, Pyramid
Silent
Head.
Hill. Didn't we have a
Silent
scare
Hill.
zone like that beforehand? A Silent Hill scare zone?
Maybe, Nico.
Or
do you
was it
remember
Resident
anything about
Evil?
that?
Maybe it was
Might have-
Resident Evil.
Where for
No.
us or
For us, I thought we had something in the lower lot beforehand.
No, I-
2012 we did have a Silent Hill maze at the Mummy
okay.
queue, and it also had the nurses scaring at the
Right.
bottom lot.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah. I mean, hey, look, I don't think we should put it past it. This could be also a idea for a scare zone,
Sure.
or maybe we get like a Mad Hatter icon kind of thing, tying us back to the Terror Tram. I don't know, something like
interesting.
that. That'd be interesting.
a Terror Tram Alice in Wonderland.
That, yep, that too. You know,
Just don't say the I word too loud around Murdy. He'll panic a little bit.
I'll try not to.
right? Yeah. But I'm excited. If we can get more original mazes, like everybody's here in the chat has been talking about it. We want originals. Yeah, just keep. This is such a good idea. I think if I'm assuming Chris is still there. Chris Williams is still working. We haven't seen him in a while.
He's still there.
I'm pretty sure he's still
Yeah.
there. Remember, he killed it with Pandora's Box. How creepy that was.
That
and
was awesome.
That was
Such a good
bringing,
maze.
mythology together. If he's got his hands on this Alice in Wonderland type maze, if this was a thing, I keep saying mazes. I can't get over still saying mazes.
We all know what you're talking about. We all know.
Man, oh man, that would be so creepy. I know for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think it's for nothing. I mean, again, I think John does get some sick pleasure out of leading us HHN addicts on. So
Absolutely.
it could be something, it could be nothing, but I do think I love the possibility of having some sort of storybook-based original in Hollywood, because it's time. It's just time for more originals, more hard-hitting originals. And yeah, hopefully we get to the point where we're at 10 houses and a lot of those being original stories. That would be dope. That would be dope. Any final thoughts before we move on to more Twitter clues here?
Just if the scare zone is Alice in Wonderland, it has to have a Z at the end.
Yes, you're still right.
That's true. It has to. It has to. By law, it absolutely has
By
to.
law, it will be illegal if not.
All right, so we've got some more little hints and clues
Wait,
here.
hold
from
on, John. I see a lot of sick people putting Jabberwockies maze. Don't keep the Jabberwockies away.
Larissa, the
Keep 'em
Jabberwockies.
away.
That's the scariest thought right there. The Jabberwockies coming back. The Jabberwockies maze.
No.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, that would be kind of scary.
Please.
The
Will not
poem is
attend.
broken down into sections about crocodiles, bats, and Jabberwocky. Nice. All right, let's check out some more clues from John Murdy on Twitter. This is one of the first ones here. Someone asks, have you thought about doing another Orlando original idea for Hollywood? John's response, not recently. Now, recently, like what? In the past couple of days, are you talking? Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking here? I, for one, know that there's a long list in my head. I guess it's not too long, actually. There's a list going in my head of what originals could potentially be they would fit in well in Hollywood. But we'll see. I don't know. I mean, what'd you guys think of Scarecrow? Did you guys like Scarecrow?
Scarecrow was amazing. It was
A+.
well done. Yeah. Yeah. It was,
Such a good house.
Yeah,
woo! Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. So I'd love to see. Mary, yes, Slaughter Cinema. That would be a fun one. That would be a fun one to have from Orlando for sure. I think
Maybe
it would
Bugs
fit.
Alive. If they
Oh,
add
Bugs
that
Eaten
with-
Alive.
with,
Yeah, that
with
would.
Larry
yeah.
Larva. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be funny. That would be funny.
That would be the ultimate crossover there for sure.
That
Absolutely.
would.
So there's tons of potential for Orlando houses. I mean, hell, I even think we can maybe even take on like a Yeti Campground Kills. That might be pretty cool. That might be pretty cool in Hollywood. There's definitely tons to choose from there.
I know it's an Orlando original mascot, but I would love to see the director back in Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's the
Come on, it's
movie
Hollywood.
studios.
It's
That's
perfect.
Hollywood.
Bring him
Have
over.
Yeah, man. I would love to see the director over here.
Hell yeah. That would be freaking awesome, man. Next Murdy clue here. Someone asked, now that the Power Up Cafe is open, will the fire towers be pushed a bit further back? John says that it's undetermined. Now, this is actually an excellent question because where the towers are, I mean, it does kind of line up to where the tour for the Power Up Cafe is. Gentlemen, what do you think, man?
They'll be back. They need to cook those calzones somehow. They'll just put the calzones on top of the flamethrowers.
With a long stick, just like
cook them up. It will be an HHN exclusive.
That's truly an exclusive right there. Gosh, I would hope, for the haunt season they close the Power Up Cafe. Food's
Interesting.
great there. But it's such a lame spot. I'm sorry, but it's like close it up for the month and a half or 2 months that it goes for.
Sure.
And I don't think anybody will be dying for calzones like for those 2 months. Like
Nico,
I don't think
what you got, Nico?
It's on fire. But none of Illumination area is open during Horror Nights. This is kind of on the brink of the Illumination area.
right. Yeah.
So, but time guests too. So maybe they'll just push the fire towers back a little bit.
Sure. Or bring them forward. No, I don't think bringing them
Well,
forward.
okay,
would work.
but we got to think
for
about
the go-go
construction
dancers
that's
with us.
happening too. We got construction that's happening in the park with
Sure.
Fast and Furious.
Sure.
Can we really
sure.
back it up more? I mean, I don't know. Eesh.
I do
Put
love
it in there.
the flame towers where they're at. I mean, it's become such an icon of the event. They went away for a few seasons there, and it didn't feel the same. And then also, I just love how it ties into the ceremony moments that they have throughout the night. I think it would be a huge mistake to lose it just for the Power Up Cafe. But I mean, I don't know. We'll see, man. We'll see. They've made some funny decisions in the past. I hope this isn't another one of those.
That would be so dumb if they don't bring
It
it
would
back
be.
because of the Power Up Cafe. Oh my gosh.
I hope you enjoy that calzone.
Yeah, that's me. I'm going in the park the same week of HHN. I hope you're enjoying that calzone. Exactly.
All right, next hint on the list here. Someone asked, are we diving into more Latin American legends and myths? John says, right now, no. That's pretty interesting, but I think, that's fine. That's fine. We can take a little break from them. We can take a little break from that because I don't know. It's almost starting to feel just repetitive in general. Yeah, I mean,
A Walking Deady.
Yeah, a little Walking Dead.
Little
A little
Walking
Walking Dead. Yeah.
I like that.
And also, listen, speaking as somebody from Mexican, Latin American heritage, let's have somebody that's of Latino heritage write those. I don't know. Let's have somebody come in and give a perspective that perhaps is better suited historically to somebody of those regions. I don't know.
Right.
But I think overall, La Llorona was good. Having it back was awesome. The Monstros was also a lot of fun, but I think we're cool to take a break from that for now. We'll see what happens though. What do you guys think?
Like an every other year type of thing. I think that'd be great. They've been phenomenal mazes there. But yeah, I would love to see what other things that they can bring in as a team. That would be cool. But I like that idea. Like take a break, come back to it like every other year or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And
Daniel, I answered your question in the chat, by the way. I see you, Daniel. asking for. By the way, this is Nico from the Entertainment Connection. He's John Murdy's favorite tweeter.
Hey,
He's the guy. He's the
nice to meet you. But Universal Studios also gets a lot of Asian cultures visiting the park.
Sure, absolutely.
So I would love to see Spirits and Demons of the East.
Oh,
Man.
Nico, I'm so on board.
Dude, the costuming in that area was so awesome. I think you're absolutely right. That would be pretty awesome, man.
Oh, man.
In fact, if they kind of made it so it's like an expedition throughout the world, and they've kind of visited these historic sites that have gone awry, like, you know, add some backstory to it. That would be pretty fun, man. Because then you can kind of hop around the world and have it be the same expedition team that keeps like running into trouble.
So, a couple of years ago, I don't know if you guys remember, our friend Anthony Zaragoza from the Knights of Horror, he put on that like little build your maze like challenge thing, and I decided to do Spirits and Demons from the East because I was like, dude, this has to come back as a maze. It has to. It was so much fun. But
we'll see. I mean, hell, I would even take I mentioned it earlier, but now I'm blanking on the damn name. All Hallows Evil. I mean, turn that into an original house, dude. That was fun. That was a fun zone. The Gauntlet. There's tons of change, or there's tons of opportunities there for sure.
A lot of those backlot mazes had some good oomph to become a maze.
Absolutely.
I couldn't find the word, but
all right, final Murdy clue here. Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. Are we getting any returning houses at HHN this year? Murdy responds, like literal repeats? No. So that's interesting. If you take it at face value, that means that all the houses this year could be brand new. As in, no Holidays in Hell, no Exorcist, none of those that have come back from, you know, times past, even La Llorona. Or... like, you know, he did mention that some of the houses in the past, like Holidays in Hell, they asked, like, did you change anything? And he was like, well, the layout had to change, you know, because
sure.
If you take it that way, then he's being cheeky. But I don't know, gentlemen. What do you think?
Nico, what do you think, buddy?
All right. So, like, literal repeats, probably not. Like, we've seen Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 4. Maybe we'll see the Blumhouse Halloween movies at the event.
Sure.
It's still Michael Myers, but it's not a literal repeat.
Sure.
Chucky was an extremely popular maze last season. I'm sorry for keep calling them mazes. They'll always be mazes. But maybe we'll get a part 2 of Chucky's kill count.
Right.
So, and then Universal Monsters.
Yeah. I mean, we always get I mean,
sure.
That's always to add on to that, you know, the first speculation that everyone's been having is, you know, Ghostbusters, right? So if he's not saying like he's saying like literal changes, like maybe it's going to be this same Ghostbusters we had, but then like a sneak peek to the new movie, you know.
The finale is now icy.
Right. Like, oh, what maze did they do that for? It was
ice or marshmallow. Don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not falling like, okay, we'll see what ends up happening. But I'm assuming we'll get something that we've had before. And you know, I don't mind it when they do that sometimes because again, we're getting newer and newer fans every year for Horror Nights. So if you bring back stuff like The Shining, I mean, that was great. We do Poltergeist, like to bring that back. Krampus, bring Krampus back. Like any of those, I think there's people that would really enjoy that because those are big name properties. Insidious, if we did Insidious again, like I wouldn't mind it because it's been a while, but also people love that kind of stuff, and
absolutely,
I would love to see those.
Again. That last movie for Insidious.
There we go.
I haven't seen that yet for the event. So.
That's very true.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, we're closing in on the finale of our live stream. Once again, shout out to everyone who's been sticking around since the beginning. Love chatting with y'all. Love interacting with y'all. And thanks for the love. Honestly, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do, because this is all we do. We just talk haunts. We talk all SoCal haunts and then some. So please be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. Our next story is about the I guess it's something that I look forward to every single year now, for sure. Midsummer Scream, the world's largest Halloween and horror convention. If you purchase your tickets right now, they've got a pre-sale going on, 40% off general admission for a limited time. It's a fantastic time to get tickets to this. If you've never been, check it out. It is so much fun. July 26th through the 28th at the Long Beach Convention Center. This event is only getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Honestly, it is such a fantastic event. Real quick, I just want to ask, what is your guys' favorite thing about Midsummer Scream? Nico, you want to go first?
Sure. Like, I could talk about everything. Everything's my favorite. But I just love seeing how detailed everyone's cosplays are and costumes. They're incredible. All of the vendors put so much work into their craft at their booth. So don't just walk by them. Step in there. Check everything out. Because there's some things I'm not interested in. But I walk in there, and there's some really sick stuff in there. So those two are my favorites.
Absolutely. Mr. E?
I mean, Midsummer Scream, it is the epitome of horror brought to life. I mean, everybody comes lively in their costumes, like Nico said. All the horror fans are brought together. It is the Comic-Con of horror. I mean, it truly is. God, I mean, like you said, it's getting bigger and bigger. And so if you want your tickets, get them now, because they went by so quick last year. Yeah, I mean, it was so much fun. The panels are phenomenal. They always get these big names to come in. There's areas for people to, like, famous actors and actresses. You can do photos with them, get signs, all that. Hall of Shadows. How about Hall of Shadows? That just popped up in my head. That is such a great idea of bringing, like, people's home haunts, like a preview of what's to come, and then I don't know, it's great, and just to be able to see what people do in the community, it's fascinating. And of course, you know, being able to run into everybody is such a great thing too. Like, all your friends, you get to see them, and yeah, I love Midsummer Scream, and I always look forward to it.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
I could just piggyback off of Hall of Shadows, like, there are some haunts I've never heard of before. I'm going to shout out Fear Farm right now, who is in Phelan, California. I would never drive up to Phelan, California. There's nothing up there for me. But Fear Farm is one of the best Halloween experiences I've had for the past 2 years.
Wow.
It is incredible.
Yeah.
And shout out to the Drug Society and all of them.
Oh, yeah. They kill it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to you, Rob, the Howling Hour. My favorite thing is seeing all those cool YouTubers like TLEV, the Hauntline, the Entertainment Connection, and also the Howling Hour. Honestly, that is my favorite thing about Midsummer Scream, hands down, is getting to see all the haunt homies and then just geeking out, man, because they always have these big panels with big announcements. They always rock our socks in these. And yeah, that's my favorite thing, is being out in the hallways, being like, "Oh my God, what's gonna happen this year? Did you see that he dropped this hint? They talked about that. They revealed that. Oh, it's so much fun, absolutely." Aiden, going for the first time this year, so happy. That's awesome. That's awesome.
That is
hell
awesome.
Yeah. Daniel, all the way from North Carolina. Holy crap, man, dude, you should come out and check out Midsummer Scream one year, because honestly, it's a lot of fun. And then I saw it earlier. Where am I? I'm looking. Well, either way, Mary, you come out and stay with us. All right, you guys come out and come to Midsummer Scream. Make it happen.
There's also a lot of the big haunts that give away free tickets, discounted tickets. So when you attend, look up those booths, presentations. A lot of good stuff they're giving away.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, we've come to the end of our live stream here, but we're not going to leave without our first haunt review of the season. Now, we had the opportunity to check out Chauncey's Imaginary Playhouse. It was a completely free event brought to us by Lionsgate and Blumhouse for the upcoming movie. It was an immersive horror walkthrough. We got to go through the house or through the experience together, and man, it was a fantastic time. So just for the sake of time, we're going to break down this review with the 3 S's, or what I like to call the 3 S's. We've got scenic, we've got story, we've got scares. So let's start with the scenic. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on what they did scenic-wise inside?
Go ahead, Mr. E.
Scenic wise, I thought I'm trying to remember how many rooms there were. It was about
It's like 6 technically,
6
5 or
rooms.
6.
Yeah. And they did really well for the space that they had. They really filled it up and it made you feel like you were like truly immersed into this film.
Yes.
We went into some of the rooms of the children that are dealing with Chauncey's like deception or his tomfoolery, should I say. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I think they also made it chilling in some of the rooms. Like when we went into like the therapy room, it was so cold in there. I feel like they did that on purpose. Like,
yes,
it was so cold. And it was just to keep you like, on your toes. Yeah, I mean, they did really well. I'm not gonna lie. This was the amount of work they put in here was very much what we would see at some of these big haunts. So
yes.
I really enjoyed the scenic that we had.
Nico?
Yeah, definitely. Like everything from beginning to end was so beautifully done, so well themed, and
Yes.
just the lighting and all the special effects they had throughout. Like right there, the attic scene. They had a lot of cool special effects on the right wall.
I guess it was technically the basement, right? It was the basement.
Or
basement.
The basement.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah, not the attic. I need to figure out my houses. Yeah, the basement like had effects on the right wall, monsters popping out on the opposite end. Like just the scenery of the whole thing was so immersive.
Yeah.
I was completely blown away.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, Maniac's asking, does anyone know what day and if HHN will be at Midsummer Scream this year? John kind of lightly confirmed that he's going to be there. We don't know what day it's going to happen yet. They haven't announced the lineup, but it's typically like, Saturday or Sunday.
It's usually Sunday.
I guess
Sunday,
right,
it's usually like it
Big
finishes
event.
off the event. Like that's like the final panel, and it's like that's how they close it. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
assuming that's not 100%, but that's kind of how it was the last 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right, going back to Chauncey's Playhouse. Yeah, I agree with you guys 100%. Honestly, the scenic was really, really well done. And again, I really enjoyed it from a design standpoint. How they kind of directed your attention to different parts of the room with sound and with lighting. They kept you guessing from where they were going to come at you, and it was incredibly effective, incredibly effective. Absolutely loved it. Moving on to the next S, story. Now, I, for one, personally, I should have done my homework, and I didn't. I should have watched the trailer again before going through the experience. But after going through the experience, I watched the trailer, and I realized that they took pretty much every moment from the trailer and brought it to life in the experience really, really well. So although you don't get the entire story, scene by scene, if you will, they did a pretty damn good job of kind of giving you the feel for what was going on in this experience. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Go for it, Nico. Yeah. Sorry.
The story, there were times where it was kind of hard to follow if
Sure.
you didn't see the trailer. I thought the therapist was fantastic.
Yes.
It was just kind of difficult to hear her at times, so we just sat there with a smile on her face. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, you do like blah blah blah." We're like, "Oh no, we didn't hear you." So the story was like a little bit hard to follow.
Sure.
It wasn't too bad. It was fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking back to the whole therapist thing and how they tried it. Like, it really tricked us at the beginning. That was really cool. Story wise, I think what did well with like the stories, it got me interested in seeing the movie.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
seeing because I don't know exactly who the evil is, like who's the antagonist of this film.
Right.
We have Chauncey, but then we also have these like demons that we saw through those doors.
Yeah.
And so I kind of feel like the story really set us up for like, okay, if you want to learn more, go check out the film. And I think they did that pretty well for a free immersive event. Like that's kind of the job of it, is to just push out the narrative of what is going to be on the big screen. And I think they did that pretty well with this storyline. I genuinely am curious, and I want to check this out. It comes out next week, right?
Next weekend. Yeah, next weekend. Technically starting Thursday. So if you want to get your Chauncey on early, Thursday's the night. AJ's day off real quick. The experience looked great. It was great. I can definitely see it possibly coming to HHN this year. I agree. Blumhouse and Universal, they're real tight homies now.
I talked about it. I talked about it in my last video. I mean, dude, they work out with Blumhouse all the time. And a horrors of Blumhouse with their 3 big movies right now. I don't know.
I think it would be cool. I think it would be a wasted opportunity if they don't do it. So we'll see. And then before we move on to the scares, I want to share this. They got us. Look at these faces. Yeah. Look at Nico completely disassociating. Mystery looks so excited to be there.
Explain myself, because I had to go to the bathroom so bad. So I was just focused like no other. So my hands were crossed on my legs for a reason. So if you don't think I was scared, baby, I was about to go potty.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
That's true fear right there for sure. That's
it's good you weren't on the couch, Nico, because on the couch it vibrated. So I was like, what the hell was that? So that was
the second time.
Well, yeah, I love that. Look at this. We didn't even know it was coming, man. So yeah, let's move on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mystery.
I don't know if Miss E was reacting or not, or she was like, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, they got us. They got us though.
Yeah, they definitely
really
got Ariana and I. Oh, dude, look at. I was fighting for my life, man. Look at that. So yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about the scares, the final S. I mean, they got me. And listen, granted, it's not that hard to do. I say this every time. I'm a very jumpy guy. But honestly, the scares were very clever, and they definitely came at you from every direction. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, the scare wise, I think they did well with the doors. I felt so bad the first time we went through it. We were very much, because we were scared, we very much opened the doors and then closed them. Maybe gave a second or two. They were like, nope. Like everybody who was opening the door, they were the ones like looking at others' reactions because they were like, what's in there? I want you guys to talk about the bear at the end because it didn't happen to me. So I want you guys to take that.
So for the scares were fantastic. Like John was saying, they were coming at you from all angles. The door room was hilarious because I had to open the first door and I opened it up and there's like a giant teddy bear walking towards us, but it had like this mesh.
It's like a scrim, yeah.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, bye. Do I just close it? So I just closed the door. I didn't know if I was supposed to or not.
I can just imagine these performers' point of view where it's just like,
And then I guess the middle door on the opposite side of Chauncey, like where the fog shot down, there's like a winged creature in there.
There's like bear claws coming out of the wall is what it is. It's like Chauncey's claws coming out. I finally noticed it last time I went.
Were they supposed to move or
maybe at some point they were, but they were definitely like coming out of the wall. They were like,
okay.
I don't know, but But then at the end, it has a giant Chauncey, like demonic Chauncey in the basement. And then we're like, oh, Chauncey, oh no, like screaming, having a good time. And then we just we thought it was over. So we walked out. And then I hear, I don't know who was screaming. Somebody was screaming. And I was like, oh, what the heck? And I look behind and Chauncey is chasing them. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just walk over here. Let them have a good time. And then he looks at me and starts chasing me. And I'm like, what the heck? Get away from me, Chauncey. And I'm running. It was a funny, wild time.
The scares were there. Were there. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, I thankfully I caught that video, or I'm sorry, I caught that moment on video. So if you go check out our we all have them on our profiles. If you go check out our recaps for the imaginary Playhouse, you can see our reaction at the end there, getting chased by Chauncey out the room, literally. Yeah. So great stuff, man. So much fun. And honestly, again, for it being a completely free activation, I mean, holy smokes, they really went all out for that. And
well done.
I'm really, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they continue to do stuff like this, because we went this last Saturday, we went on the last day to check it out one last time. And let me tell you, there was a line out the door. People were stoked on it. They were excited for it. Awesome. So I hope they keep doing activations like this, because honestly, they killed it. They did a great job, man. But all in all, great time, and I'm glad we got to do it together.
Great event. It was phenomenal. So go check it out. If you guys want to see all those, go check it out. Everybody's Instagram. We have all of it on Instagram. Everybody's TikTok. So go check it out.
Yep.
Well, speaking of which, let's wrap up today's episode. Mr. E, where can everybody find you?
It's TLEV Media, as I spell out the letters, as we talked about before. All across the board. So that's on Instagram, on YouTube, and on TikTok right now. We do all like theme park construction updates, and then very much focusing right now on getting ready for the horror season. When it hits March, and now we're into March 3rd today, speculation season begins. So if you want all of that, you guys can check out all those socials right there.
And to your point, Mr. E, I just realized that this time last year we had version 1 of the HN Nightmare speculation map. On the 28th of February, it came out. So we're due a map. I think we're
interesting.
Honestly, outside of Ghostbusters and like maybe The Conjuring and some of the things that we've talked here, it's been a very radio silent season. So I don't know if they're tightening down on who's saying what. We'll see. They're
keeping the leaks in the Pentagon. That's why you can't get to them this time.
Alice in Wonderland, every single house.
Oh!
Every character gets their own house. All right, Nico, where can everyone find you, sir?
You could find me at The Entertainment Connection on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all of those. I think this season I'm going to keep my construction videos like strictly maybe TikTok and Instagram.
Sure.
But yeah, follow me on there and Entertainment Connection, baby.
Awesome. And of course, you can find us at The Hauntline pretty much everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/The Hauntline. And you can visit us on the web, thehauntline.com. Keep a lookout for the podcast. It's coming back. I just got to get a few episodes in the chamber to get that going. And gentlemen, Mr. E, Nico, thanks for joining us today. This was a blast.
Thanks for having us.
The speculation has only begun. And we've got so much more to talk about, and I'm so looking forward to it. And again, shout out to everyone who stayed with us throughout the live stream, or if you're tuning in on the rewatch, much appreciated. We'll see you guys out there. Thank you for calling The Hauntline. Like, subscribe, TLEV Media, The Entertainment Connection. We'll see you guys out there.
Goodbye.